So today I bumped into Edon and I was asking about my posture, which is very collapsed. And at first I thought it was all about me being at the computer. But to be very honest with myself, it's so much more complex than that. And that's when you really went into how healing has many access points. Do you want to speak more about that?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about access points. So what happens is so many of us are looking for healing, right? And we're looking for healing in different places, whether it's a psychotherapist, a physical therapist, a homeopath, or a doctor, or, well, I wouldn't say many of us look for healing from doctors, but let's just say alternative medicine practitioners, right? Or holistic practices. There are many different access points to health and healing, and so we can access the mind, which is through psychotherapy, through talk therapy, through cognitive behavioral therapy, through conversations, through journal writing, through workshops, all different types of, I guess you could say, possibilities of using our mind and our thoughts and our beliefs and all that. And then we can access the unconscious mind, which is the body, okay, and that's what I do as a body therapist. That's another access point. And then we can access spirit, right, which is working with spiritual practices, and people are accessing spirit now with ayahuasca and different plant medicines and different ceremonies and different healers, per se, who are working with the spiritual realms, right? We can also access energy, right? And work as another access point is energy, working with something like homeopathy, which is you take a remedy, you put it under your tongue, it shifts you on an energetic level so that you're having that access point worked with. And each access point is sort of like a door that you're opening that door, and it's a way to access health and healing. And I believe that the true or the easiest path to healing is to find the right access point for you.
And how do we
do
that?
We are all different.
How do I find the right access point for me?
I think it's like about how do you show up in your body? Are you a mental, intellectual individual who's very cerebral, very heady, very much so in your head, like thinking about everything, having to figure everything out, or are you more of an intuitive person who's more in your body, who's more of like me, like a dancer, like a
deeply
mover,
embodied, right?
Deeply embodied, right? Are you a yoga teacher and like deeply embodied? Because you can also actually be a yoga teacher and not embodied and actually be very.
This is true.
Right? So that's the thing. So what kind of human are you? How are you showing up in your body? That can be a really great way to discover which access point would be best to use. Now sometimes, so it's tricky though, because sometimes I feel like a person who is very heady and in their head and intellectual and needs to grasp and understand everything, and the energy is up in their head too much. Sometimes for them it's really good to work with the body in a way that's going to enhance healing, because we're working with a different access point, because they're so used to going into that access point.
Absolutely.
So like you were mentioning before, she was talking about how like she has so much awareness about stuff, and she's sick of the awareness, and she doesn't want to be aware about stuff anymore.
I was like, no more awareness, I want solutions.
No more awareness, I want solutions. So that's so cool that she's aware of that. And it's like, I mean, I'm aware that sometimes like I have too much awareness, and it sort of like puts you in this heady space of like trying to figure everything out, right? But what if we step out of that and step into the body, right? And so use the access point of the body and like get away from thought and thinking and like process of like the thoughts and the beliefs and the understanding of everything, and focus on solutions. I believe that we can find solutions by working with the body as a layer, as an access point, with different types of body therapies that a lot of people are not aware even exist. Some of the body therapies that I do are based in the work of Wilhelm Reich, the work of Arthur Lincoln Pauls, who was a doctor of osteopathy, who worked with a technique called orthobionomy, the work of John Barnes, who's a physical therapist who developed and discovered myofascial release over 40 years ago, and has been teaching that around the world. So there's many access points, many modalities. So I think that as a therapeutic artist, this is how we can achieve the best results in healing, is by being a therapeutic artist, we can figure out intuitively and intellectually which is the best plan of action and which is the best treatment plan.
Yeah. Okay.
While leaving all plans behind. In other words, like, because if we get too stuck in that, like, I have a plan of how to treat you, we're not really listening to our intuition and our intuitive guidance to figure out what's the best way to be. So I really think it's about, you can have a plan, but then really let go of the plan.
Absolutely. You need both the masculine and the feminine, right? The plan and the surrender.
Exactly.
Yeah. And for me, in all the healing that I've encountered, usually the biggest breakthroughs are when the person is just holding space and something greater than our understanding flows through.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that can't be really described. And there's no answer you can give someone's mind that will satisfy that need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, the more that we can access the presence and the healing and the calm and the present-centered touch and the interaction of the healing experience, the more that we can access healing. Most of us are really stuck in our heads, and this is how we can get back into the groundedness of our spirit, of feeling, of intuition, of the divine feminine. I find that I do better with divine feminine type of healing modalities because I'm more tapped into that personally. But some people who are physical therapists or doctors or, you know, psychotherapists who are very analytical and very pragmatic or structured, right?
Yeah.
Those people are going to do better with their feminine, with the masculine, right? Like, but the thing is that, you know, whether or not they're going to get results with that, I don't know. You know, you have to like really figure it out. I think that we need a balance. We need a balance of both. I think we need to find that balance. And so sometimes I find myself in sessions with clients say, oh, wait a minute, let me think about this and how the pelvis is structured and how can I work with the structural alignment with thought, with looking at things and trying to figure it out with the mind. And other times I'm like, what does the body really just want? And how do I just follow the pattern with my intuition and with what the body's doing and just listen and tune in? I find that I get better results when I listen.
Absolutely, which is also being in your feminine. And since the future is female and we're all moving collectively to this space, the fact that your healing modality is based on the divine feminine is absolutely beautiful.
Oh,
thank you
so
for bringing that into this space.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and for sharing your knowledge.
Yeah, and thank you for tuning in, guys. You can subscribe to my YouTube and actually check out her info too. Can you tell them a little bit about you? And
yeah. So I'm the founder of Intuitive Business Guidance. My background was, I was at Google. Thank you. He's bringing me more into the forefront. Appreciate that. And I work with female entrepreneurs who want lasting fulfillment in their lives. And trust me, if they need body work, I'm sending them straight to you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
beautiful. Yeah. So subscribe to our YouTube channels and check us out, both of us. And thank you for tuning in. And maybe I'll label this video access points, right?
Access points.
Access
absolutely.
points. I think that's cool. And
what's my access point? Question mark.
Yeah.
Because it brings intrigue. Yeah.
Yeah. What is my access point? So what's your access point, guys? And what have you been accessing and working with till now? And has that been working for you? And if it's not working for you, how can you access a different point and maybe tap into a different dimension? Because we are multi-dimensional beings, and I think it's so important that we remember that and we honor that, because when we're not, that's when we actually end up suffering and we prevent ourselves from healing from pain. So yeah, please leave a comment below. Let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know what access points you've been exploring and what type of access points for healing you can possibly explore that you haven't done so already. Maybe it is body therapy or maybe it is something else. And thank you so much for tuning in and for your time. We really appreciate your time, because time is just something we don't get back, right?
Yeah.
So thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.